Hi. How
Okay.
easy is it for love to come back?
How easy is it for you to get a lost love to come back?
That's exactly correct. In 2005, when I left,
I see half of you.
when I left, what happened? Oh, is this better? Okay. Do I need?
No, we're good.
We're good. Okay. So when I left in 2005, I had a feeling when I came back in 2007. I didn't know what the feeling was about, but it felt like something had changed with you.
I actually think it was something that changed with you.
Well, the feeling was a vulnerable feeling.
Which you didn't have before.
In 2005, no, I did not.
Right.
So the key.
Yeah, so when you left, right? That time for 2 years. Let's talk about how you came back.
Yeah.
So after you and I had come together,
Okay.
we split.
Yeah. In 2005.
Yeah, it was so intense. That was 2006 already.
Oh, okay.
Because it was a very intense feeling, and it brought anxiety, like anxiety, like,
Yeah.
gee, you got to go type of
Right,
things.
right,
Like, you
right.
got to get out
right.
of here.
Do you know why I think that happened?
Why?
We didn't know each other.
No, right. And the feelings that we were feeling were intense and different than any other thing that we've ever felt before.
Yeah.
It was almost a relief, and I'm sure it was for you when you were pulling out of the driveway, like, you're out of there.
Right. I mean, I knew that I wasn't going to be talking to you ever again.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
The feeling said it wasn't over.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do know what you mean. And it, like, here I am looking through the blinds, right? Like, just making sure you're gone.
Right.
So I can breathe.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And the relief that I felt. And it was so weird because it wasn't anything other than relief. Like, all those weird feelings that I had felt for you, like the excitement, the excitement when you were coming over, or the excitement when we were going to meet somewhere, just overwhelming excitement. It was the very same overwhelming feeling that I was feeling when you were leaving, like, whew.
Right.
Because it was so, the feeling was so intense that I felt like my heart was going to stop. You know what I mean? It was, I needed to come down from what had just happened.
Right.
And swearing to myself, and that's it. I'll never see him again. Whew, right? I never want to see him again. And then obviously, after some time, I was like, I wonder what's going on with him, right? I wonder what's happening with him. Right?
Well, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
I think that's even what we titled our first video.
Yeah,
What the hell was that?
Something.
Something like that, right?
And, right, but there never was a point in time where I was like, ooh, I'd like to get him back.
No, it wasn't like that. But what it was, what the hell was that?
What it was.
Well, we didn't know what connection was.
Right.
At least I know.
No, I didn't.
I'll tell you, I didn't know what connection was.
No, for sure.
I felt connection, but didn't know that's what it felt like.
Right.
So, when I came back in 2007, it was more like, I wonder if that still is that, because I'm not planning on being here much longer. That's how it felt, right? But it was a free. I was being more vulnerable. I was really kind of sharing what my life was in little bits and pieces.
I will never forget where I was sitting, what I was doing when a message from you came across.
Oh, you talking about when I came back?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was,
MySpace.
yeah, MySpace.
That's where I messaged
I was
you.
out
I didn't.
dating. I was doing my own thing. I was not sitting at home pining over Lee at that point.
No. Nor should you be.
Right, right. So if you're sitting and you're waiting and you're trying to use every everything imaginable to try to get that person to come back, we should probably try to show you a little bit of a better road to take,
Yeah.
because the road that you're on, if you are trying to get this person back, is not the road you should probably be on.
No.
And I only know that because what I did worked.
I wouldn't be sitting here had it not. The other part of that is, sitting there waiting for me to come back. And if she did do that, there would have been no energy for me to come back to it. Does that make sense? So it was like, if you consistently keep thinking about this other person and keep thinking about them and keep thinking about them and make them your reason for not dating, your reason for not being open, your reason for not, you sit and you're just waiting, right? Yeah, all you're doing is making sure they don't care about your feelings because you don't either. You're going to sit there and suffer and you're blaming them, which they're not there to watch you suffer. That's you watching you suffer. And you want them to come along so you don't suffer anymore. That doesn't work either. We've seen it a multitude of ways, but the easiest way to do this is, number one, trust the truth. That's got to be the number one. If you were with that person and you were holding things back about yourself, that told them you didn't want them anyway. So now you've got to realize why you did that, and you need to really sit in that and become completely vulnerable with that. That is your ability to heal. You cannot have that lost love. That lost love won't even come back until you sit in your own vulnerability and start being vulnerable with everyone around you. It's like a telephone call, right? It's like you pick up the phone the moment you're vulnerable and it says you're available. If you can't be vulnerable or you don't know what vulnerability is, we encourage you to please try to be vulnerable, right? It's not easy. We're not saying that it's easy, but we're saying you're worth it. Your vulnerability is your true state of love. If you cannot be vulnerable, what are you calling what you give someone? It can't be love if it's not vulnerable. So vulnerability is how you pretty much open human connection. At least that's what we found, or at least I found. Her side may be different than my side, but it could be I was the runner and I was the chaser, and then I was the runner, then I was the chaser. So it's not like, I individually went through that, and I don't know if you individually went through it.
I did to an extent. Like,
Right.
I didn't put 100% of my energy into what you were doing and where you were, because I decided to just go on with life, right? Not for it to be a barrier for me to stop my life and sit on the couch and try to figure out what you're doing and where you're at.
Even with that feeling that you have for me in there?
For sure.
Why is that?
Because this whole runner chaser thing, I've got a whole different philosophy on, but I wasn't gonna chase you, right? I feel that if you have to chase somebody, right? If they're running from you, then they should have the space to run from you as far as they need to, in order to, once they get to their whatever their destination is. And I'm not talking literally here, right? You know what I mean? But Why would you want something in your life that's running from you? They got to figure out why they're running from you, right?
Right.
And come up with the truth about you and what it is that fear is
Yes.
that's keeping them on the go. What childhood wounds are triggered inside of you that makes you want to sit and pine over a human being
True.
who's running from you. So we got to learn to reel it in and look at the situation and realize this person isn't feeling me at this time. But I'm feeling me, and I'm going to go do me. And that's what he felt. He didn't feel me sitting and where's Lee and what's Lee doing and who's Lee doing and all this mess, right? I just knew if he felt the way that I felt, and this was new feelings, but if he felt the way that I felt, that he couldn't stay away for long. He couldn't run for long.
Confidence.
2 years.
That's beautiful.
Right?
Yeah.
I just knew that it was undeniable. And as long as he was denying it, he wasn't for me.
Yeah. So when I did come back, she was not as let me jump right into this as much as she was, am I going to get to know who you are now that you're back?
Who you really are.
Who I really, and she really kind
Not
of...
who you were portraying to be.
Well, you actually did ask it in a specific way. What happened to you? That's literally what she asked. And that was a very profound question because you don't realize that that's keeping you running away from that person or chasing even... It's really quite surreal. But when she asked, and then, you know, she kind of wanted to know about my family and she just started asking questions to kind of explore what the connection was. See, for me, connection wasn't something I knew of after 6 years old, or at least could really speak to. So whatever happened to me there is what happened to me with that. So if you can be without one parent, then you can be without this person. The thing is, that parent's always going to come back, or at least you're always going to feel that parent in your life, no matter what you do. So it really does help. It really does help to open up and kind of share what your fear might be, what you're scared of, what you're feeling. You have to have openness, which is being vulnerable. And we did that, and the more we did that, the closer we got. And it wasn't even like we got close and it was like this big, huge, beautiful... It was mystical from the standpoint that it was really impossible to be present with one another because we were sharing our past and we were caring about each other's past. So we built a bridge. That bridge is the bridge we're telling you. If you have that bridge already built, at least halfway from what we're trying to tell you here, the rest happens on its own. This is human connection. This isn't playing by any other rules other than connection. And if you're not able to open to connection, then that's why they're not coming back. Why would you come back to somebody who's going to be closed to connection, or at least learn to be closed to connection? And we experienced that. So how do you do it easy? We hopefully made that as easy as it's going to get because we wanted to give the truth about how you can reclaim that lost love, or at least reclaim the space of it. The last and final part of that is the you that was there when they were with you before. That you that, were you open? Were you already open to them and open to feeling a connection to them? Did you share or speak about what you were feeling inside? If you didn't do those the first time and you don't do them the second time when they return, don't expect them to stick around long, because they won't.
Yeah, because while they're over here,
Yep.
you've got to be over here working on this while they're over there working on that.
Yep.
So when they do come back, it's not because you shamed them, guilt them, manipulated them, paid them, offered them the world just for their presence, those types of things, right? It's because they want you and they want to be with you.
You. And she
Right.
means you. She
Right.
doesn't mean who you think you should be to be with them.
Right.
Huge difference. If you get into your head about who you're supposed to be with them, what does that do to your vulnerability? It's just simple as that.
If you're in your head about what you're supposed to be for them, you're not being who you are for them.
Yeah.
You're still putting on a mask of some sort. If you lie to them and say, I've been doing all this work and been going to counseling and my eyes are opened and I see the light. And,
I'm sorry.
right. Right.
I know this is serious, but
And they come back and realize that you haven't seen the light. As a matter of fact, it was a train. Right?
right. That's kind of
Right.
We've just
Train to smash a human in 2.2 seconds.
right. Your body parts everywhere.
Right.
So listen.
This went way left field.
And that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
And this doesn't matter if you're in a spiritual connection, a soulmate connection, a marriage, boyfriend, girlfriend. All of this really points to what you're doing when it comes to the word love. If you lose a love like that, and a love that you really felt a connection with, what we're talking about is just that. And we wanted to make it just simple and have something just so simple for you to go to when you're really going through it and you need a pep talk. This video will be right there.
Yep. Be you.
Be you. Unapologetically.
Yep.
But you've got to find that you don't forgive parts of yourself yet. So if you found a connection or feel a connection to someone, you have to pull all of those feeling parts of yourself to yourself and accept yourself before anybody else will. That is the connection you have to you. And if nothing else, there'll be 30 minutes you can drop down below here and you can come and talk to us. And we will help you and guide you right to where we're talking about. And that's free. We're not charging anything for that. But there are deeper ways to go. But just trust your vulnerability. It is so, so, so important to be in this life and have your vulnerability. It's the strongest armor you have when it comes to love. There is no other armor that you can wear when it comes to love. Just vulnerability. And forgiving yourself for what they might have walked away from before, or having that fear when they come back that you're just going to walk away again, already sets them back on the path. So even if you do that, you're going to have to be honest with yourself if you want them to stay.
Even if you say to yourself that they're a narcissist.
Oh, Lord.
And look, everybody's a narcissist. And not everybody's a narcissist, right? Let that sink in. But, you know what I mean? But we tend to do that. We tend to label.
Yeah,
Oh, he's a narcissist. Oh, he's an asshole. Oh, he's just a dick.
Bye, vulnerability.
Right? And there's you.
Yep.
Listen, always remind yourself that they would be sitting right next to you in healing. But without that, and you can't be chasing when there's no healing. It's just, you're gonna, right?
Say that again. Say it one more time for the people in the back.
You can't be chasing when there's no healing.
Say it louder.
And it boggles my mind
God.
that we put so much value. Look, I have the perfect husband. I'm not even gonna lie. And it's not that he doesn't have flaws, because he does. He did put the cast iron skillet in the dishwasher once. But listen,
You're
he's
just gonna put my business out there.
well, I mean,
God.
you made a mistake once. Everybody needs to know that. But
I make mistakes every
promises
day.
every day. But so do I, right? But
But I love my mistakes.
we've had to learn how to navigate life with each other. It's not like we're not human beings, because we are. I just, there's just something to be said about, first of all, we can't teach you how to do it unless we've done it ourselves.
And have practiced it and have beat the dead horse.
That time isn't the only time we were separated.
No.
If you watched our journey, we were separated a lot.
Yeah.
And literally, we can tell you how to usher that person back into your life. We can do that.
And we can tell you what kind of energy you're in
Yes.
that can allow it or not allow it.
Yeah.
So,
oh.
because we don't want you to go into this going, oh, so all I got to do is be vulnerable. That's not the key. The key is, first, you got to look at why you haven't been vulnerable or what vulnerability is to you. Mm-hmm. So you got to be clear. So what you want to do is you think about that first time you guys were together before you lost this love, and you write a letter telling you how you feel about how you behaved when they were there the first time. Then you write out what it is that you were doing, just be honest with you. If you don't tell yourself that truth.
Right. They wouldn't be running if there wasn't some kind of something.
Yep.
Right? You don't tend to want to roll out if there's not some types of issues, right? I don't tend to want to, if something isn't hurting me or bothering us, right? There's something there that's causing them to Forrest Gump it out of there, right? That's something you've got to figure out. Don't think they won't tell you, because they'll tell you that and 20 other things.
They will.
That's not the secret.
No.
You've got to figure it out for yourself.
Yes.
You've got to find out why you reacted and acted the way you did to cause them to run. And
how does your reaction allow you to listen?
right. And how does your ego allow you to feel like it's okay to admit that we were part of the problem?
We. Not the other person
Right.
or you.
We.
It's got to be a we thing.
Right.
Blame
Because-
is horrible.
It's super bad, and it's not that we don't do it, because we do it, right?
Yeah, well-
I blamed him for putting the cast iron skillet in the
We
skillet.
have days of being human and days of being human being.
I
We
blamed
have
you
days.
because you did it. But anyway,
I was being human that day.
right. But there, right.
I did not say human
But
being.
when I cracked the piece on your car, right?
I was
made
a
mistake.
human being that day.
I had made
you caught me on a day where I was a human being. I didn't have not one. I did not get upset. I didn't
You
say
did
one
not.
word.
I was so
I was
excited.
like,
oh,
it's
he's
okay.
gonna
We'll be
kill
all right.
me.
As long as you're okay. Are you okay? That was what was important, and is always going to be important. Remember, nothing outside of this life means anything if you don't have connection. Does it?
You said when you are in a relationship, whatever it is, with someone, right? And you really do look at them and think, gosh, you know what I mean? I look at Lee. Lee's very intelligent. He's just super smart, and he's super enlightened, and there's that energy, right? And then there's another energy where Lee's annoying. But we're together all the time. It's going to happen, right? But it's taken a lot for us to know how to approach the other one, right? In order to not feel attacked, or if there's some type of something that's bothering you. It's been a long process of learning how to communicate those things without, you know what? Right? I, for one, still have sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie about that, where Lee would think or feel that I was focusing on his flaws more than what he does good. And in my mind, right? I'm like, I don't mention everything you do good because it's so much, I'd be talking all the time. But when you do make a mistake, it's so kind of few and far between that I felt like I had to be like, oh, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I can
so
see
no
that.
wonder that he's running, right? No wonder that she's running. If you are
The difference between me and 98, 99% of all the other men outside of me is I know how she brings her hurt to me. They don't know how you bring your hurt out.
Right.
So what you're getting is a big surprise because where did you learn to communicate your hurts and your
Right.
pains to someone you love?
And it certainly isn't.
No, it's not. But that doesn't mean you're not going to have hiccups. But if you're completely truthful about that and tell them, I tend to go to my head a lot and it makes me do things that are probably not the way I feel.
Yeah.
That is important to establish because if you never establish that, you never establish vulnerability. And it's okay to tell the truth. We're going to wrap this up, but we want to leave you
For those of
with
you who
a
are
final thought from
just
Sherry.
for those of you who are just listening in audio in the car, I'm sorry about that R thing. If you see it in video, you'll get it. But yes, before we go, I do want to say one thing, and that is if you are not registered to be an organ donor, please register to be an organ donor. Without organ donation, I wouldn't be sitting here next to Lee, and I'm here because somebody said yes. So you can go to registerme.org and register to be an organ donor, and you can put up under here, I registered to be an organ donor. That'd be great.
Comment below if you felt this. If you felt this video, you felt its power. Comment, share,
Subscribe, like,
Yes.
all those things. All those. Look, we're old. We're not young social media people. We're trying to figure it out, but will y'all help us by doing that? Subscribe, like, and all those things that those kids talk about.
Because people ask, why isn't your channel bigger? And I go, well, we don't ask people to like and subscribe.
Why? I don't know why.
But yeah, we never really thought about it because
Like and subscribe
we
for
have
us.
so much that we want to share. We forget to ask that. So
That is right.
if you see that, and don't forget to comment below. We love you guys. Thank you for being here. And hopefully this video is reaching somebody who really needed to hear it because we did this as a very deep, beautiful favor to someone who said, could you guys please do this? And we feel honored to be asked to do that.
Get your healing on.
Yes.
Get your healing on.
And know that we will see y'all
It's
soon.
coming up on summer. Y'all want to get your healing on.
Yep. And don't forget, if you would need 30 minutes with us, there will
Free.
be a link.
Talk to us for free. Let's do
click
it.
it. We
We'll
got
talk to
you.
you tonight. Let's go for free.
Yep. We'll see y'all soon.